A lot of people, some people on these calls, well, it's a mixed bag, right? Some of you have a vague idea of who we are, what we do, what our services are, and all of that. Some of you are like, who the heck are you guys? I don't understand how you could help me, what you do. Is this just a website? So we have like a video that I recorded a couple of sessions ago. It goes like about 20 minutes. It does a pretty good job of explaining everything sort of from top to bottom and everything in between. So I'm going to run through that at the top. And then once I get through that and on to the other end of things, is when we open it up into Q&A. And it's the best part of these calls because really you're trying to figure out, yes, can art storefronts help you? But also, like, do you guys even have any damn idea what you're talking about? And if so, prove it. And you better sound intellectual and know what you're talking about, right? So, on in that tact, whether you ever sign up to become a customer or not, whether you're just poking around, checking it out, whether you're not ready to do anything in your business, don't let that hold you back from asking questions. The questions I find, and I say this all the time, and I don't think it's hyperbole. I don't think there's another human being on the planet that on a week in, week out basis talks to more artists and photographers than me right now, especially given the COVID situation. I've been doing this for like a year. And, we're up to, I think, like 4,900 customers now at art storefronts in every niche imaginable, multiple different subject materials, multiple different parts of the planet. And I get to see all their data. So I've got a pretty good idea of what's working from top to bottom. Originals, commissions, selling courses, the service side of the business, live art shows, in-person art shows, combinations of the two, how to handle pricing, niche selection, branding, advertising, Facebook ads. I go through this on a regular basis, week in, week out, and I think I'll have a ton of really good insights for you. So we can get into the question part later. And if you guys are being shy, don't worry. I'm not above gentle poking, prodding, and harassment as I scream at you. Does anyone have any questions? Sometimes you have to break the ice like that. But I'm excited. I think it's going to be a great webinar, and we'll get the video started. Contemplate your questions. The chat works the entire time. If you've got any follow-up questions, let me know. And I'll see you guys in just a few minutes so we can get into all the rest of it. Go ahead, April. This is the homepage I'm talking about that we just recently redid, and I think it does a really good job articulating sort of who we are, what we do at a very high level. And if you scroll down the page, there's a bunch of videos of me explaining a whole bunch of things, everything that we do from top to bottom. But our tagline, which states everything that you need to start, run, and grow a successful art business, really does sum up what we do. We get pigeonholed as they're a website company. They're a website company. And yes, we do offer websites, but it is a tiny, tiny portion of what we do. Ultimately, we learned a couple of years ago, the hard way, by the way, if we are going to grow and be successful as a business, art storefronts, that is 100% dependent, surprise this one, but on how successful our customers are, on how much art and photography our customers are selling on a yearly basis. And so when you look at that as the problem that we're solving, it becomes so much more than a website, because a website is not enough. But still, we're going to talk about the website. I'm going to get into the other layers as we go down. So it does indeed all start with the website. I will pull one up because it'll make it more interactive. And, anyone that's been attempting to sell art or photography for any period of time, I'll use Bono today, they know one thing conclusively: selling art in an e-commerce capacity digitally online is not like selling other items. It's not like selling swim fins or ladies' handbags or electric scooters or bicycles or anything else, right? Buying art, okay, and buying art online is A, an extremely visual process, and B, an extremely friction-filled process. And what do I mean by friction? I mean, friction is all of the various different things, okay, that will prevent a visitor to your website from turning into a buyer, okay? And so really, everything that we do with our software is attempt to solve for this friction, okay? To solve for the friction, to solve for how important the visual aspects are towards selling art and photography online. And, it's never any one feature. It's all of the features working together. It can be little things like when you select a media type, which is canvas, it changes to a canvas, a gallery wrapped canvas. Most people don't even know what a canvas is. And so we've developed special videos that show the differences, the nuances in the real world, what an actual canvas print looks like, what's going to show up at their house, what are the high points of this one, how is canvas different than metal. Oops, I missed a click on that. And so you can see what a metal print looks like and how it's sitting flat, eventually how it's hanging up, all the nuances, the intricacies, because it is such a visual process buying art. We have a feature called the wall preview, which allows you to cycle through various different room types. Again, such a visual process buying art. Not only can you circle through the different room types, and yes, you can add your own room type images in. We use some generic ones by design, and you can size pieces up and down, see what it's going to look like. Do I need a 36 by 49? Is that too big? Do I instead want a 28 by 38? We're making it easier for your potential customer to get to a buying decision. What if they want to, their walls aren't white, right? What if they're this ugly color? Or there's something a little bit darker. Is the piece going to look good with this color, right? Because again, buying art is just such an incredibly visual process. Another feature that everybody likes to talk about that we get a lot of plaudits for is we have this feature. Excuse me, mute that. Called Live Preview with AR. Okay, and what this is this allows somebody to come to your website with their telephone. Can be iPhone or Android. You can see the phones here on the right-hand side, and without downloading any apps, they can just use their phone, their camera, and press one button on your website that says Live Preview. And what this is going to do, it's going to take the camera on their phone, okay, which is going to show the real room, the real wall, where the art will potentially go. And then it takes your piece in augmented reality and it projects it onto the wall. And you're able to move it around with your finger. You're able to size it up, size it down, take screenshots. And so is it going to look great in the room? What size do I need to get, right? And so, again, this is attempting to solve for the visual friction of, I don't know if it's going to work in my room. I don't know what it's going to look like, right? It's just getting them one step closer to a buying decision, removing the friction from the process. And, I've been doing e-commerce marketing, digital marketing my entire life. Everyone loves to gravitate towards the wall preview or the live preview with AR. But the reality is when you do this for any period of time, it's not about one individual feature. It's about all the features working in conjunction, and you never know which one's going to end up, if we think of a sports analogy like a basketball team, it's how many players you have on the court that can contribute, right, to eventually scoring that basket. And so it's why we do the demo process. We have literally hundreds and hundreds of features, all to remove the friction, all to help you get better at selling art and photography online. And when you request one of these things, our outreach team will reach out, have a conversation with you, and schedule it. It goes like an hour and 10 minutes, and we just go through feature after feature after feature. So it's not about any one of them. It's about all of them working in conjunction. Independent of that, let's keep working down the page. So we also have a ton of back-end software. It turns out running an art business, art photography business, there's a ton of individual little nuance and things that can slow you down, okay? Things like uploading an image and how many images do you have to upload to your webpage for all the various different media sizes and types you have. It's very helpful to be able to just upload one, have all the sizes auto-populate for you, and tell you exactly what you can sell. Things like markups. How do you set markups? Can you do it globally? Can you do it per media type, right? And so no one likes to talk about the back-end features, but we have a slew of those as well, all there to make your life easier, to give you time back, okay? Let's talk about our fulfillment. And we love talking about this. This is in our company DNA pretty significantly, but I'll pull up a website. So we're on Bill Stidham's site. Or I should probably start here, actually. So we are integrated. Well, let me start here. You can have it any which way you like. If you're an artist that just does originals and you get orders, obviously you're going to be responsible for fulfilling the originals because you have them. If you're an artist that has a local printer or a photographer that has a local printer, you really like using your printer, you can use your printer. The orders come in, you send the order to your printer. We call that self-fulfillment, no problem. What we recommend our customers do, though, is integrate with one of our print partners, and I'll get into the reasons why. But we've got Graphic Dimensions on the East Coast. We've got Bay Photo on the West Coast. We've got Print Partner for our customers in Canada. And then we just recently integrated with a company called Guten that handles the merchandise, and I'll get into that in a second. How does it work? You sign up. You get your site set up, which usually takes 14 days or less. You click a button. It says, I want to integrate with this print partner. An order comes into the website. The printer gets paid. You get paid. The order gets printed. The order gets boxed. Your logo goes on the side of the box. Boom, it ships to the customer. You touch absolutely nothing. There's nothing you have to touch, nothing you have to do. All happens automatically. And again, it's to give you back that amount of time. And, no one has time in today's day and age to be dealing with the admin, okay? Any time that you spend on the admin, by which I mean sending the order to your local printer, checking on the proof, sending tracking numbers, did it ship, any of that correspondence, all of that, if you're spending your time on that, is time you are not spending on your biggest problem, which is your marketing. So we really believe like streamlining sort of this drop shipping, print on demand, automated fulfillment is a very, very wise decision if you want to create successful artists and photographers. Now, just recently, this was probably like a month before Christmas, maybe, we integrated with a company called Guten. And what it allows our customers to do is sell merchandise of a myriad of different kinds. Hoodies, iPhone cases, tank tops. They can come in, adjust the image exactly how they want to see it. Maybe they want to tilt it depending on what case it is, and get iPhone cases and a number of different other items. We've got throw pillows and I clicked out of it, and coffee mugs, and we're adding more and more and more and more of these. And on the subject of merch, we realize, again, if you go back to our original mission, why we exist, we need to create a set of circumstances, a set of conditions such that the artist, the photographer can make and grow as successful a business as they want. And so some artists look at this merch and they're like, they turn their noses up at it, like, that's not fine art. Why would I ever want to do that? Some are like, I'm all in, I love it. We don't care. Our job is to provide as many different opportunities for artists and photographers to be successful as possible. And we've been totally blown away by how much of this stuff actually, believe it or not, sells. And some of it is higher margin than you would think. Like a throw pillow is $44, and what does a tote bag cost? I think a tote bag costs $38. So sell it or not, you have every opportunity imaginable available to you. If you want to have it all, in kind of like Bill does here on his site, where you have your fine art media types across the top, and then you have the merch all in one product page, great. If you want to have individual items in the store, you want to have your artwork, fine, and then you just want to have a line of phone cases. If you want to have one for a couple of weeks and then turn it off, you can do any and all of that, and it's one click to turn it on at any point in time. It's automated. It's completely automated in terms of fulfillment, and that's not going to change. And we realize, again, like, artists and photographers are essentially just creators, right? You're just creators, and you have a talent. You have a talent with a brush, or you have a talent with the lens. You want to monetize that talent, okay? So again, our job is to give you as many different opportunities to be able to monetize that talent as possible. So that's how we go about it. And again, it's a debate about when to use it or when not. But somebody on one of these sessions earlier was like, who's the greatest rock band of all time? I was like, no, who? He's like, the Rolling Stones. He goes, guess what the Rolling Stones have at their concerts? I said, what? A giant booth for merch. He's like, they sell hundreds of thousands of dollars of it a year. If the Stones sell it, I'll sell it. So anyway, I thought that kind of stuck with me. It was fun. So that's our print fulfillment. And I should say too that we're adding calendars, and we're adding puzzles, and we are adding photo books. And to be honest with you, if they come out with a line of hot air balloons, we'll add hot air balloons too, right? Because again, it's creating a set of circumstances such that the artist and photographer can be successful. We don't care where the success comes from. I don't care if Brian gets into business and he's the number one iPhone selling case guy of the entire United States. He's got a successful business, right? So not for us to decide. Support. We believe we have best-in-class support. If you took a look at our Facebook ads and you scrolled through the 350 of them, you'll see more positive responses for the support than just about anything else. We're very, very good at this. Yes, it's in all the venues you think it is: email, phone, chat support. But in addition to that, kind of what I'm most proud about is we run 6 days a week, including Saturdays, Zoom sessions, just like the one you're on right now, okay? And you can pop into one at any point in time with any support-related issue and get fixed, get unstuck. There's screen shares. They can take over control of your computer and just get you sorted instantaneously. So we're very, very good at it. Not only do we support our application, we ask you guys, we teach you guys marketing all year long, which I'll get into in a second. What if you're having a problem with Facebook or with Instagram or with MailChimp or with your Facebook ads? We actually support that too. You can pop into a Zoom session and say, hey, Patrick, I'm stuck on my Facebook ads. I'm getting this message. Can you help me? And our team will get you unstuck. That's an amazing thing. There's not many companies that do that, so I'm very, very proud about that. That's in terms of the overall website picture. And we essentially do all of that, okay, to give you your time back such that you can work on the biggest problem that every single solitary person on this Zoom call has, which is their marketing problem. You need to get better at it. And let me tell you, I've got 4,700 customers, and there's only one universal truth about every one of them, right? every niche imaginable, every subject matter all over this country and others. Every one of them has a marketing problem. The person that just passed $500,000 a year in sales has a marketing problem. They want to grow that business, they have a marketing problem. The person that just is getting started, sold their first piece, they have a marketing problem, and everybody in between, right? It is the biggest problem. And so, we want to create successful customers. We realize we need to teach artists and photographers how to market. And so how did we solve for that particular problem? We created collectively what might as well be called the Art Business University. That's how we look at it, because I'm not sure there's a better term to explain it. One, we have the best digital education that exists in terms of selling art and photography online, full stop. I'm hang my hat on this. We have detailed documentation that we call playbooks on every marketing facet imaginable. How to run an email campaign, how to run a Black Friday sale, how to go live on Instagram, how to go live on Instagram and Facebook at the same time, how to go live on Instagram and Facebook at the same time with your laptop and a cell phone. Detailed, step-by-step, audio, video, screenshot documentation. If we're asking you to send emails, we will give you the email copy. You just adjust it to taste for what you're doing. So the playbooks are incredible. They're very robust, and they're very focused on teaching you how to market. We pair that with a 365-day-a-year marketing calendar, okay? It has on it beginner, intermediate, and advanced. You take on what you can take on. You're never not knowing what you need to be doing on a week-in, week-out basis. You start doing, first, you're overwhelmed. You're like, I've never done this. This is crazy. How am I going to survive? And then you fight through it, and you got through the beginner level. And then you take on the intermediate, and then you take on the advanced. The majority of our customers follow this doggone near verbatim year in, year out, because it works. It's effective. Not only does it tell you what to do, but it solves for one of the other greatest pandemic of our lifetime, the shiny object syndrome, okay? Not only does the calendar tell you what to do, it tells you what not to do, okay? What not to be spending your time on, right? And how do I know this? One, I'm very good at digital marketing. Two, we have 4,700 customers, and I get to see all of their data. I can tell everyone on this call conclusively, out of the 4,700 customers that I have not seen anyone turn a positive ROI at marketing on Pinterest. No one is making any money from marketing on Pinterest. So I'm going to tell you, you don't have to worry about Pinterest. I see you laughing, Mary. I do not want you spending any time on Pinterest, period. Waste of time. So too with SEO, okay? So the calendar is equally powerful on what you need to focus on is what you ignore, okay? Is what you ignore, and that's a big deal. Number 3 of Art Business University is what we call office hours, okay? We take the entire customer base, we split it into 3. Until you sell $2,000 directly on your website, you're in the traction group. And after you sold $2,000 on your website, you're in the ramping group. After you sold a much higher revenue threshold that we don't publish, you get in the advanced group, which we call growth. We hold week in, week out, every single solitary week. And we took 1 week off for New Year's, but essentially 48, 49 weeks a year. Zoom calls like this. You come on a weekly basis. It's either me or members of my team. We go over the playbooks. We go over the calendars. We talk about wins. Somebody landed an interior decorator and sold $35,000 worth. They're going to come on and tell their story. Not only are they going to come on and tell their story, they're going to say, here's the email that did it. Here's the copy. Here's the Facebook post, and you can go and look at that stuff, right? And you're learning in concert with your peers. Digital online education is not enough, okay? If you look at the stats out there, I don't care who it is, Kajabi or Masterclass or lynda.com, 30% of the people that buy those courses actually finish them. So we can't just have digital education. We have to have in-person teaching sessions, and everyone knows how to Zoom now. It's our new reality. So those sessions, which we started like, I think 2 weeks, 3 weeks ahead of the pandemic, have been the single solitary biggest fundamental change to our business we've ever had. If before the pandemic, I had 100 customers, and I told those 100 customers via email, guys, Black Friday's coming. You got to get going on your sale. Here's the playbook, right? And then I recorded a podcast episode, and I was like, we're going to do this. 35 out of the 100 would take action. After these video sessions where I'm able to go through things, people are able to ask their questions, raise their hands, get unstuck, learn your peers. I have 75 people taking action on that sale, and it's fundamentally changing the business. It is making our customers more successful, more accountable, actually staying focused. Like, look, you guys are all solopreneurs for the most part. I mean, we could pull this entire group, and not a lot of you guys have a big team. You don't have an office behind you where you're yelling at an intern to help you out. You are a solopreneur, okay? You know, myself, the CEO, we've been entrepreneurs our entire life. I know it's a roller coaster. I know there's highs and the lows. When you're on those lows, you need to kick in the pants, right? You need to be lifted up sometimes. And that's what these Zoom sessions do too, which is incredible. We follow it up with a Facebook group that is highly curated. Okay. There's no trolls. There's no nonsense in there, right? You've seen some of the other groups out there online and how ridiculous it gets in those things. And artists are sharing with other artists. Photographers are sharing with other photographers. The people that are in the landscape niche are talking to others in the landscape niche. Hey guys, what do you think of this new direction? What did you use in terms of pricing? They're publishing their wins. And so sometimes you can't just hear it from us, the official company mouthpiece. And so it's nice to have a whole bunch of people that are doing this same journey at the same time, helping each other out, sharing, what are you doing here? What are you doing there? So that collectively is the Art Business University. And it's like a college. It really is. And the difference is you pay your tuition, you come in, and there's no graduates because the learning never stops, right? And, in addition to that, it never will stop. In today's digital marketing landscape, the goalposts are just constantly moving, right? Like so quickly. You feel like you just learned something and it moves over here. So we keep you up to date with all of that. As a final, about 6 months ago, or maybe 5 months ago now, we started an in-house marketing agency. And it's an in-house marketing agency that only does one thing. It helps artists and photographers sell more art online and off. And we believe already, as of today's date, it's the biggest sole-focused art and photography marketing agency in the world. And that's not hyperbole. I've been asking on these calls, can someone name me an agency that specializes only in helping artists and photographers sell their work? I haven't found one. No one's ever put one in the chat for me, especially not a big one. Why? Because my aforementioned point, selling art and photography is not like selling swim fins or ladies' handbags or scooters. It's hard, right? It's really hard. And we're good at it because we've been working at it for a long time. Also, I get upset, right? Because I look at all of you guys as like, you own a McDonald's, right? And if you owned a McDonald's, you have to know how to do the ordering. You have to know how to clean the floors. You have to know how to open the building. You have to know how to operate the drive-through window. You have to be able to flip burgers and fries and do all of that and do the ordering, right? Like it's your business. You need to understand those things. But at the same time, I'm not naive in the sense that 80% of our customers still have full-time jobs or in some capacity. Maybe they're service-based photographers and they're trying to sell their fine art. So I get it. You need to be able to have the ability. If you don't have the time to do the marketing and you have the resources, you need a la carte things that you can jump off the shelf. Hey guys, I need my Instagram profile tuned up. I need my Facebook page tuned up. I need to help with a sales campaign. You need to be able to do that sometimes. In addition to things like we'll completely build your website for you. You don't want to do that. You hate building websites. Your fears in life, in order, are death, taxes, and building another website. I get that, right? So you can drop your images in a folder, tell us to build the site, we'll build the site for you, okay? We'll manage your Facebook ads, okay? We will manage all of your social posting. And again, it goes back to the top premise. Like, our job is to create successful customers. And so we looked at it 6 months ago and it's like, we need to have an agency. And then some people are like, well, I want to do it myself. Fantastic. Our job is to have the best DIY product, do it yourself, learn, come on the sessions, and then also have an agency where you can pay. And again, it's a la carte or it's, up to almost full service. And the amazing thing about it is, I've been doing marketing a long time, right? What do all marketers love? A case study. Oh, we love a case study, right? With the sexy data about this huge win, and we publish it on social media and we use it for lead generation. So totally did that all the time. Okay. Guilty, and if you lose, you don't publish it, right? You wait till you hit a winner and do all that. But it used to be, I would go and run a case study with a customer and, I'd have limited bandwidth to do that. And then we would build the playbooks. Well, guess what I have now? I've got agency staff. I've got one guy that all he does all day long is spruce up Instagram pages for artists and photographers. He did 65 of them last week, or 65 last month. So imagine the learnings that we're getting. What happens is the learnings are going right back into the playbooks, and then they're coming onto the Zoom sessions and they're teaching, and we've got a little flywheel going on, right? We've got a little artist and photographer education flywheel. So it doesn't matter if you ever order a single solitary service from the agency, and we don't even care if the agency ever makes any money, in all honesty, because all it does is just improves the product, makes more successful customers, and helps us grow. So we really, at the end of the day, are fundamentally a business that can be thought of as a rowboat, right? It takes our oar, your oar, we jump in the boat in the same time, and if we can get that thing rowing in the same direction, the faster we can get that going, the better everybody does. So that's Art Storefronts in a nutshell. That's my presentation. I was running one of these like last week, Wednesday, and it was really funny. And this gal has since signed up to become a customer, so I can't wait to have a conversation with her about it. She's standing there in behind her laptop, and she's like, okay, I just want to let you know, my husband, you know, my husband has sort of been hearing bits and pieces, and he has some questions. And I was like, and he's very skeptical. I was like, okay, bring him on. And she's standing there, and I see her, like, art behind her wall, the laptop view, and then the husband is off to the right. He's like, I'm not getting on camera. I'm like, okay. And he goes, sum it up, what it is that you guys do that make you any different than anyone else, in a sentence or two. I was like, that's totally interesting. And then I thought about it, and I was like, artists suck at marketing. We teach you how to market. It's really it. And that was like spur of the moment, but it's totally true. And, I say this all the time. We've been in business now. I think the company sort of had some evolutions. So, like, sold software for print studios at first, but I think going on 8 years now. And a whole bunch of artists have been on for 5 years, 6 years. Some of them galleries. Some of them are above $1 million a year in business. No, not a lot, of course not. But some are at that level. Some are scattered about the six figures. Some are knocking on the six figures door. Some are, around the $50,000 a year mark, and some haven't sold a single solitary piece, and everything in between. And they only have one thing in common, and it's not their niche selection. It's not that they're, media types, or if they're a photographer, or what they call themselves, or anything in between. It is universal, down to a human, that they all have marketing problems. The person that is doing $1 million a year still has a tremendous amount of holes in their marketing operation. The one that's just getting started obviously has a tremendous amount of issue with the marketing operation. We live in a world in today's day and age, and perhaps even more punctuated by the lack of offline revenue sources that have gone away in COVID, in which the currency is attention. With attention, you can do anything. Without it, you're in a very difficult place, and you need attention to purchase your art, to purchase your photography, to hire you for commissions and the like. Just like we need attention to hawk software, right? And everything that is that we do. And I say this all the time, and it's not hyperbole. Who are some of the most powerful people in the United States right now? The Kardashians. The Kardashians. Those women, any of them, could decide to start painting tomorrow, and whatever it is, they would probably be able to sell $10 million worth of it in a year, because they have access to all the attention. Instantaneously, they have all of that attention, all of those eyeballs. Now, you don't need Kardashian level of attention to build a healthy business, but you do need attention, and every single solitary one of you needs more of it. It was true before the pandemic. It's about 10x as important now during the pandemic, and that's really what we ultimately solve for more than anything else. We're very good at marketing, number one. Small egos too, but we're very good at marketing. And, art and photography and the way that it sells online is not like other products out there. There's a bunch of tradecraft and nuance to it. We've been doing it for a long time. And you couple that with the fact that we've got the data on all the folks that that are doing a great job, and we get to see what's working for them and then just sort of systematize it. So that's sort of where we're at with the whole thing. And yeah, love to get into the questions. And so how can you ask questions? If you're one of the ones that's brave and has your camera on, thank you for that. You can do the old school hand raise, and I will see that. All right, Rita, I saw you. There's a digital way to do it as well. There's a participants bar down at the bottom. This is actually the easiest way to do it. So at the bottom of the Zoom window, there's like this thing called the participants bar. You click that. It'll allow you to digitally raise your hand. You can see Nina's done it. And then I usually just work down the queue there. You can absolutely leave questions in the chat too. I'll answer those. I kind of just dart back and forth between all of them. If you're on any of the socials, we're streaming on a bunch of the socials. You can ask the questions there as well, and we'll go through that way. And don't worry, if you don't want to be on camera, you absolutely don't have to be on camera. I hate being on camera. Greg, I see your hand. Don't worry. So, you don't feel like you need to if you don't want to. So, okay, Rita, you're going to go first. Then I'll get Nina, and then I'll get Greg. Go ahead, Rita. Oh, and you need to unmute your mic. It's in the bottom left-hand corner. I'll tell you when you get it. Yep, you got it.
I submitted it in the chat.
Okay, so you're saying Pinterest, Shopify, Instagram. Sounds like you are saying that if we go with you, we will get coverage with all. If you build the site, do we own it, and can we add products ourselves? Yeah, we don't necessarily build the sites for everybody, but it is an option. We can certainly do it. The artist owns absolutely everything with us, from top to bottom, everything. Yes, you own the website. Yes, you own the domain. Yes, you own the merchant account. We're not, the money doesn't come to us and then go to you when you get an order. So we sort of believe that the artist owns everything from top to bottom. So yes, of course you can add products at any point in time. And yes, we do teach you how to market all year long and where to focus whatever limited time you have, time, energy, and effort, marketing hours. So we teach all that all year long.
And then we have to ship ourselves, obviously, because our products are here.
If you're doing originals, yes, we haven't figured
Yes.
out a hacky way around that. I'm
Yeah.
hoping, yeah, I'm hoping that Elon Musk will develop the shipping hyperloop, and shipping won't be such a disaster. But TBD on that.
Yeah, let's see. This is one. Let's see if I can get it on here. Right now. Let's see. This is, let's see if
I could see it there, Maryland.
Yeah. And we did 5 of them for examples. They're all like 3 to 4 feet wide and tall. So I thought those I think we could ship. But I have a lot of other products, stuff I bought in Bali, and I'm going to keep adding decorative items.
So you're not the artist then? Are you sort of like a gallery type of a setup?
No, I created this.
Okay.
The Marylands. And then we did people's baby pictures, and created something with the resin on them and little artsy easels. So we have that. We have wedding things, just creating personalized things.
Got it.
So I guess every time it'll be different and change. So I was thinking, I don't even know where you get started.
Yeah. So what we do is we do the demo process. What happens is that I'll put a link in here. We'll email it to you afterwards. It's all over the website. You request a demo and you put some information in about you, and then someone from our outreach team will reach out to you. Ordinarily, they're available to do that all day, but our team is based in Austin, and none of them have any power, so it's not going to be today.
Yeah.
Huge apologies on that. Those poor guys are just getting crushed right now.
Well, I'm in Denver. Don't talk.
Yes. Yes.
It's 0 here.
I mean, like earlier on social, we have Katie. I don't know if she's still watching, and she's in Anchorage, and she's like the only one smiling today because it's like, haha, you guys all know how I feel all winter long.
I know.
It's a crazy time we're living in.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
I have relatives in Texas, pretty bad.
Yeah, super. I mean, like, it not to go too far down the tangent, but it's just, it's like a frontline seat because we have all these friends there, and it's like, okay, great, the power's out. That's terrible, but their pipes are freezing, and it's not like there's a snow. It's not like there's a snow plow in Austin, right? And so a lot of them are like too scared to leave their house in the neighborhood with no power and everything else. Like, it's a crazy thing to live through.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah.
So are there contracts, and how do you do it?
No, we don't do contracts. You sign up, you pay for whatever package that you elect to go with, and like I said, you own everything. You get, no, there's no like you're locked in or anything like that. You can upgrade, downgrade at any point in time. If ever you decide to move on for whatever reason, or for whatever reason you're disgruntled, we're usually really, really cool about. Not usually, we're always really, really cool about that too, and we'll help you on that too. It's a great company.
Okay, sounds good.
Yep, I'll send you. We'll send you it afterwards, and then it'll also go in here. So or go in the chat. Yeah.
Thank you. Great.
Yep.
Thanks.
Okay, I gotta figure out how to do the meeting. Okay, it's gonna go Nina next, and then I see Dan Griffin and partner. I see that hand up too. Now, you might have to like raise it again if I forget, because sometimes okay, go ahead, Nina.
Hi. I think I forgot my question. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. My question was pretty general, I'm afraid. Okay, first of all, I don't know how much it would cost. I'm sure it costs something, right? But I haven't heard the price yet.
Yep.
Another thing, is how, okay, so the way I understand it, you will help the artist create a website, or you will create a website for the artist with the paintings, right? And there'll be ads on Instagram, Facebook, and so forth, for which we will pay, I suppose, right? We have to pay for that. The artist has to pay for that. I mean, that's my guess. I'm just asking. So how will the potential buyers, right? How will they know about it? Through the ads on Instagram, Facebook, and whatever else there is, Twitter, whatever. So that's, and through the website, and the website will be in these ads, right? Parts, I mean, pieces of the website will be in each of these web ads, right? So I'm just trying to understand it, because I know nothing about the business of marketing. It was always alien to me. So, am I right? I'm sorry if it's a little naive, but I'm just trying to understand.
No, Nina, it's all good.
We
It's
will
all good.
pay something. I don't know how much yet, and we will get a website. And from this website, there'll be ads on various social media. And supposedly future potential buyers, they will see it and will want it. But my experience is, I've been posting my painting. I'm not only a painter, I'm also a writer, and I've been my prose and my poetry has been translated into several languages. My paintings get a lot of likes on Facebook sometimes, not always, but often. It doesn't mean that people buy it. They will put a like. It's very easy to put a like. So they like the painting, they put a like. It doesn't mean that they will say, I want to buy your painting.
Yes.
So how does this Facebook campaign, and actually there were times I have a special, in addition to posting my paintings on my own Facebook page, I also have an artist page. And a few years ago, Facebook offers to do a marketing campaign, like or advertising campaign. You pay something like $14 or whatever you pay, and they will advertise it for 6 days or whatever. It's up to you how many days you choose. And yeah, I got some likes from that. Not as many as on my own page without any ads, without any paid ads. But it doesn't mean that anyone buys it.
No, it definitely doesn't. I always respond.
Likes on social media and actual buying are two very different things.
Stated another way. Stated another way.
Yeah, I don't see how paid advertising on Facebook or whatever. I know I'm more familiar with Facebook than these other ones.
Yes.
How it translates into potential buyers wanting to buy your art.
Yep. So there's a lot in there. Let me kind of just take them one at a time. One, my favorite thing to always say is, because I get this so many different ways, specifically as it pertains to Facebook and Instagram ads. Facebook better, that's fine. Facebook and Instagram are the same company, but I'm getting so many impressions, and I'm getting so many likes, and I'm getting so many comments, and I'm getting so many shares. Or another version of it is, I've won tons of awards for my work, or I got into a juried show. And you know what I do then? I drive to your house, I pick you up, I take you to the local ATM machine, and I ask you where on the ATM machine the button is for likes, comments, shares. Everyone tells me my work is great, or I got into a juried show, or awards, right? It doesn't translate into sales in the slightest, so there's a huge gulf there. What we do is we're the entire ecosystem that helps an artist or photographer succeed, and it's the easiest way to explain it. Yes, there is a website. No, we do not build it for you, but there is a service that will build it for you. We have an in-house service that you can pay to have it built, so there's like a little distinction there. But yes, you get the website set up, and then yes, we teach you to market your work all year long. It's a combination of Facebook and Instagram and email marketing, some various other techniques and tactics that we don't necessarily talk about in public because they're kind of like hacky little things. But we essentially teach you to market all year long. And so as it goes back to cost, there's a whole bunch of different website providers, solutions out there, right? And they all charge on a monthly fee. We do that too, okay? So you sign up, you get a website, we charge on a monthly fee like everyone else. What we do differently is we essentially have, an art business university, which is all of the various different teachings and do-it-yourself education and the live workshops and all of these things that we do. And, everybody's been to art school, right? And they've took art history and they understand the masters and the various different styles, and they learned about Michelangelo and Van Gogh and all of their history. What no one learns about is how to actually take your creative talent and turn it into a business and ideally survive on it, right? And so that's what we teach all year long. It's basically like a graduate school in art marketing, and we don't ever stop doing that. Year in, year out, week in, week out, we teach you to market your art. So the way that we charge, the cheapest plan to get in, you pay a one-time fee to get into the university. There's never any graduates. The learning never stops. And then you just pay a monthly fee for the website. I believe that the bottom plan is $1,000 down fee, and then I think $49 or $39 a month to the website. So that's the bottom plan. The plans go up from there. It's based on how many bells and whistles and things that are on the website itself. So that's what we do. I hope that sort of explains it. I know it's a lot. There's a lot going on, so you sort of need to take it a layer at a time. But did that answer your question, Nina? You muted yourself again. So. Okay. You keep listening. It's gonna take a while to get it all in. There's a lot going on. I know. Okay, Dwayne, you had your hand up, right? Was it? No, there was another gentleman. I can't remember who he is. So I'm going to Team Griffin. Okay, Team Griffin, go ahead. And then I'll get to you next, Rocky.
All right, so on the website thing, you have a really fancy back end kind of stuff. If we have a front end already built, can we connect to the back end in your world?
You could. I mean, so we have every option imaginable, right? Like, we get people that come in and say like, hey, I've got a website. I really like my website. I'm super invested in my website. I don't want to change anything on my website. Can I just sign up and get the marketing education, right? We have people that do that. We say, fine, like no problem. What you'll find though, unless your current website is doing a really good job of transacting commerce and making sales, that you'd end up signing up and then you'd end up moving all the way over to it at a point, because we have so much of our marketing machine built into the software itself. The example I always give is, we don't publish it because it's kind of complicated. Well, maybe we do publish it some places, but we have a feature called Art Buyer AI, okay? Because we come up with crafty names for these things. It's a proprietary cookie that's tracking on your website. And so if I'm the artist, or you're the artist, who am I kidding? You're the artist, your web store can be thought of as an Apple store. Art Buyer AI is a video camera that sits in the upper right-hand corner of the store. So I come into your store and I look at an iPhone, I look at an iPad, I go look at a MacBook Pro, and I buy the iPhone and I leave. So our system has identified that I did that in your store, and it automatically pops an email up for you. And we pre-populate the text. And it says, hey, Patrick, it's me, Dan. Thank you so much for coming in and buying that iPhone. I really appreciate your business. I noticed that you also checked out the iPad and you also checked out the MacBook Air. I just wanted to let you know that we offer a one-time discount for first-time customers. And so if you had any desire to bundle those three objects, we can talk about it. If not, thank you so much for your order. Let me know any feedback when it arrives at your house. And then you have the ability to hit send or edit the text, right? So we have a whole bunch of features like that you're not going to be able to take advantage of. And so I don't feel like you'd be getting the complete ROI out of your investment. But that's number one. Number two, it can be dangriffin.com, and you have your beautiful portfolio site or whatever you have. And then just to transact the commerce, you can do store.dangriffin.com. Point that at our install, keep your same website going how it is, and do some combination therein. So you could do that as well.
So one other difference.
Yeah.
Can say he's an artist and I'm an artist, and he does photography and I do whatever, painting. Can they accommodate more than one sort of solopreneur?
Yeah, absolutely. They can totally be used as galleries. I mean, are you guys husband-wife team, totally separate entities, like husband-wife team?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think, again, I go back to attention. We live in the attention economy, right? Because you guys are husband and wife and not family members and not some co-op, I 100% advise you guys go together, right? Because a couple of things. One, It's really, really hard to get going in marketing. It's really, really hard to get going in attention. The two of you guys could go together, combine, and you're not going to lose anything. No one's going to care if they come to the site and they were just looking for your husband's work or they were looking for your work. They'll be able to find it, right? But number two, where was I going? I sort of lost my train of thought. My dog was barking.
Versus a co-op.
Oh, versus a co-op. Because you're married, okay, and you guys are in that close a relationship, if you start doing more work than Dan, or Dan starts doing more work than you'll be able to take it out on each other much easier, right? You're already married, right? Till death do us part. It's when I see the co-ops, when it's like 8 of us want to get together and we want to do a gallery together. And I'm like, great idea. You better over communicate, because what ends up happening is somebody has to own that URL, right? Traffic is going to come to that URL. You are building an entity, a digital entity there that's going to have value in the future. So what if 6 months down the line, a year down the line, no one else is doing any work on the marketing? You're doing it all. You're going to be like, what the hell is going on here, guys? This sucks, right? Like, I'm doing it. And so that is it's a dangerous relationship. It's why most marriages are individual partners and not the Mormon varietal, right? Because how do you manage that? So it becomes like a big hairball. So I think you guys should totally do that. I think everybody thinks that in today's day and age, they get to decide what their brand is, and no one really gets to decide what their brand is. The market kind of tells you what your brand is, and most artists think their brand is just their work. Nothing could be further from the truth. The artist is the brand as well, right? So Dan, his personality, his peccadillos is the brand. What's your name, by the way? Robin, you know, what you do, your peccadillos, the stuff that you post on social, all of that ends up becoming the brand, right? And so people are going to resonate with that aspect of it as much as they're going to resonate with just the work itself. And so the fact that you guys are both on there, the fact that you're both husband and wife, I like it, actually. I like it. I would totally combine. I would totally go the entire distance that way, straight up.
So one more follow-up. So is this primarily focused on 2D work? I mean, our primary business is film and video. So, but is this what are you primarily focused in, I mean, and we have photography and a bunch of other things, but does any of those other sort of
they work 100%. So the websites are set up, especially how they're constituted currently, to sell wall art, right? I mean, obviously that's sort of our bread and butter, but at the end of the day, it's just an e-commerce shopping cart like anything else is, right? You could sell anything. You can sell books, you could sell golf clubs, you could sell swim fins, you can sell anything that you want on the site. So, you know, again, if you have that service-based aspect to your business too, is it service-based? Is that what I'm hearing? Yeah.
Well, there's, you know, our own aspirational projects, but a lot of service also.
Yeah, I literally, you know, think of it as a giant warehouse, right? Or think of it as your own little strip mall, and you can have multiple different stores, but just put it all under one roof, because the hardest thing to get is attention, right? And also too, especially when you have these service-based businesses, and sort of the oft-cited example is the portrait photographer, right? The portrait photographer, that is their bread and butter. They're trading dollars for hours doing those things, but they have some fine art that they want to sell, right? And in addition to the fine art, they also want to sell more prints of the portrait subjects. And they always want to like separate the two businesses. And I'm like, what are you doing? You have this group of people that knows, likes, and trusts your service, okay? You want to expose them to the fact that you are also a source for wall art, right? They know, like, and trust you, right? This is everyone underestimates too, like the arc of what an artist's career is. You guys don't go through midlife crises where you're like an accountant in your 30s and you're like, I can't handle it anymore, I'm going to go do construction. You're an artist for life. You're a photographer for life, right? So when you cement yourself as sort of the subject matter expert, okay, one, you've got the service-based aspect of the business. Two, you understand printing and media types better than anyone else, another revenue source. Three, you're selling the fine art. You become the go-to resource, right? And so every single solitary time, more service-based customers come into the business, more art-based customers come into the business. They get the exposure to the other sides of the business, and you've got multiple different revenue sources. So yes, I mean, if I'm betting on ponies, I'm betting on you guys more than most people, because you already have, you know, some different revenue sources, which is hugely helpful.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so you can definitely sell all that stuff too, and definitely do sell all that stuff. Yeah, so many people just don't do that. They feel like they got to split everything up, and it's like, no, don't do that. Attention is really fine. Billy, I think you had your hand raised up, right? I've got so many people on camera today, probably because everyone's snowed in. Yeah, I'll unmute you. And then Rocky, I'll get you next, okay? Go ahead, Billy. Were you the one asking me about SEO?
Well, I had multiple questions, actually. I'm going to switch my question, if you don't mind. Okay. So what is the interface that you guys are working on?
We custom coded it from the ground up.
Oh, okay. So, so I can't take your widget, whatever, and then put it on my website.
No.
It won't work?
No, does not work.
Okay. So, and I have a gallery. I'm an artist, and my husband and I are both, artists, and just like Griffins. But my husband is a sculptor.
Okay.
So, and I paint, and I have merchandise with my paintings.
Okay.
No, I don't just paint. So, merchandise meaning accessories and stuff. You know, the pillows, the whatever. So, and am I to understand that you help with printing, or is it just something that I do and you just simply have the website in place?
No, we have any and all options from, soup to nuts, as it were. So, let's just go through all the scenarios. If you're creating originals, obviously you're going to be responsible for shipping those, right? If you've got a local printer that you like to use for whatever the item is, you can do what's called self-fulfillment. The order comes in, you take the order, you forward it to your printer, they print, they ship, they take care of it. Or you can integrate with our print partners. So for us, it's Bay Photo on the West Coast. It's a company called Graphic Dimensions on the East Coast. And then on the merchandise front, we integrate with Guten. And so what happens is that those orders come in, you get paid, the printer gets paid, the order gets printed, shipped, sent to the customer, you touch nothing, you don't have to do anything. So you have the option to do any and all of the above in any scenario or breakup you want, right? Like, let's say that you want to do all of your canvas and all of your metal and half of your merch with us, fine, done. You want to do the other half with your local guy, fine, done. And then you take care of the originals. Yeah, so flexibility is the number one takeaway, right?
Okay. So, and just to summarize, I give you $1,000 to get going, and that will cover what?
So the one-time fee gets you into, that covers basically all of the teachers that we hire to teach you marketing year in, year out, right? And then you pay a monthly website fee like all the rest of the website companies. So that's sort of the difference. We're still trying to figure out the best way to articulate it. So it's why we do the demo process. And I realized too, I've been doing these webinars for years, not years, but basically since March, almost a year now. And you try to make a video to explain it all to the best of your ability, and it just falls flat every single time. I mean, Nina's still sitting there going, I have no idea what these guys do. So Nina, I'm working on it. Okay. We're trying to get better at this thing. It's a hard thing to articulate. Yeah. So, it's really, really interesting, right? Because everyone's like, the $1,000 down, and some of the other plans are even higher than that. But if you talk to artists and photographers, the biggest problem that they have, yes, it's marketing related, but what do? Everyone's out there looking for the silver bullet and the quick win. If I just move to this website company, that'll change everything. If I just upload all my images to this gallery, it'll change everything. And one of the interesting things about the way that we charge is you find it makes you burn the boats, right? So what artists normally do is they take the boat from one shore to another shore, and it could be from WordPress to Squarespace, or Squarespace to Shopify, or Shopify to Wix, or any of those things. Or, I'm going to put everything up on Etsy or Fine Art America or Saatchi or whatever else. And they move and do a little bit of work, and they don't get the results they want, and they think their problem is the website, or their problem is their online art gallery. It's not their problem. The problem is they haven't worked on their business, and they haven't marketed their business. And so what we find with the way that we charge, which is 100% about paying for the marketing education and no other reason, but it causes the artist to burn the boat, because you're not going to spend that much money and not make it successful and not actually work diligently on your marketing for the first time in your entire life. Not like, ooh, I'm so fired up to do this, I'm going to market for 3 months. Oh, I didn't get any results, I'm going to quit. No, you realize okay, I just invested in something that's serious. I am now going to work for the next 3 to 5 years, which is what it's going to take for me to build a decent sized business. So that's how it goes. I don't know if that makes it any clearer or not. I'm still working.
It does. But going back to my question on SEO, So then do you guys help with the SEO of the interface that you created?
Of course. So we handle SEO a couple of ways. One, SEO does not work. Okay. First of all, you could get me going on this rant. I go on this rant all the time. There's two things. One, what everyone thinks SEO is, and two, what SEO is really. Three, SEO doesn't work, and four, we do it for you automatically. 4 points. One, what everybody thinks SEO is. I put in some magical meta description and some keyword terms, and I tell Google about it, and customers are just, fish are jumping in the boat. People are coming to see me. I'm selling art like crazy. That's what people think SEO is. Find me somebody, okay, that happened for, and I will show you someone that is completely full of it, all right? Does not happen. 15 years ago? Yeah. But guess what? The ship sailed. The arbitrage is gone. That party's over. That forest has been cut down, okay? What SEO is really, can you make it using SEO? Yeah, but guess what? Do you know what it is? A massive amount of work. Yes, you have to have everything titled correctly and the meta description and the keywords, but then you know what you need to do? Work for years building links to your site. And guess what? You have to really be smart about it because not every keyword is actually ever going to turn into a sale. You could rank number 1 for beach hut photography, and you know what you get? A whole bunch of people that like to look at beach hunts and pay for nothing, right? So you need to know exactly what the keywords are. So the point I'm making is SEO, everyone thinks it's like some magical thing, number one. So I said 4 points. In between 1 and 2 is going to be 1.5. There are more charlatans out there selling SEO service, okay? Montebank's quack medicine than I've ever seen in my entire life. Give me $2,500 and I'll get you listed on all of these galleries. Just save your money, light it on fire, or go on vacation to one of these places because you'll get some ROI out of it that way. 2, the SEO takes a tremendous amount of work to actually do it. 3, the arbitrage is just gone from it. It's gone. It went away a long time ago, and it's not coming back anytime soon. The established players have nailed it. You are not going to nail it. It's a question of ROI. If you've got 10 hours of marketing and you can put the 10 hours towards SEO and you can put the 10 hours towards some more contemporary marketing techniques that work better, you're going to see a much higher ROI out of the contemporary marketing techniques that work better than SEO. So we've taken... How can I explain it? We've taken what we believe to be the verbiage and the keywords that actually sell art, and we've incorporated it into our website automatically, and it just does it for you automatically. So you don't even have to touch anything. You put in the image title, okay, and the price, and our website does all the rest of it for you. And the reason it does it, it's SEO doesn't work. There's not a single solitary person, okay? Aside from people that are getting high level of search traffic because their name is famous, i.e. I'm typing Billy Cauley in the search engine and they're buying that way. No one's making any money off SEO. No one is selling a tremendous amount of art. Fine Art America is, because Fine Art America got to that party 12 years ago and they dominate it now, right? So yeah, those are the type of value judgments that we can make based on being good at marketing and based on, having the data on so many customers. No one's making any money on SEO, so not worth it.
Can I ask another one?
Of course.
So I don't know how many members you have. How many members do you?
4,800, 4,900, somewhere around there.
Okay, so we're all competing against each other within your interface.
No, this is not a zero-sum game. It's not a marketplace. You own the website. It's not people come to artstorefronts.com. It's like some sort of big gallery. Your website is billycauley.com, and you're attempting to drive traffic to billycauley.com or the Cauleys or whatever you guys call your entity.
It's BBC Expressions.
BBC Expressions. That's where they're going. So no, you're not competing with anyone.
I see. Good. All right, I'm done.
Okay. Good questions though. I enjoyed that. I can't figure out how to mute you. Okay, Rocky, you're up next. Go ahead.
Hey, before I get to my questions, I just wanted to confirm your comments about SEO.
Yes.
I was a web designer back in the day, and I tried to do my art website on my own, and I SEO'd it. I got it in all the search engines. I linked to other artist sites. I did everything. The biggest thing that I had with just luck is I got listed as Netscape site of the day once, and then I think I had one store buy a couple prints, and that was it. And I put years and years of work in it, so I can just testify on your behalf that unless you got in really early, it's just not that successful.
It's gone. So, it's gone. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Really, really, really early on, even before you started doing it, but it's just not. It's gone. The ship sailed.
Yeah. So I had a question for you about your web platform. So you guys custom programmed everything. You're not like, using Joomla or WordPress or anything like that?
No. Custom from the ground up.
Well, that could be a reason why that justifies the expense then, if it's all custom programming, for sure.
Yeah, but not in the reasons that you think. Like, you know, what's funny is that technology evolves really, really quickly, right? And, you know, the longer you've been in business, the more a complicated web of software that you're built on, right? And so it's a huge competitive advantage in the sense that our competitors are all older than us, right? And their software is sort of like, you know, an oil tanker, right? Like, do you know how hard it is to turn one of those things around? Because of the modular nature in which we were built, you know, our software is like a Boston whaler, right? Like, we can turn on a dime and make changes and move quickly, which is awesome, which is a great thing. And, you know, I have one developer that I get to work with, and I just tell him what to do from a marketing standpoint, and he goes and builds it, and then I get to release it. And we're releasing features like crazy. And, you know, the learnings are coming in quicker for us because we're getting bigger. And I actually view the ability to like execute in the software changes is going to be one of our biggest competitive advantages for the next 10 years, just because our code base is so new, right? And it was
you've impressed me.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you a question about, you know, I used to be a website designer. So like while you're talking, I'm like having all these visions about my logo and all of this stuff and how things are going to look. How much actual customization do I have with the website? I know that there's a tried and true method that we want to stick with that you guys have designed.
Yes.
Do we have a header and a footer? Can I customize the menu?
Yes,
like,
you do. I will yell at you if I catch you spending too much time on it. But yes, you can work on the style sheets. Yes, you can. You know, there's full scripted header. I mean, it's as robust as any of the other ones out there. But I don't want you wasting even a minute on it, because again, it's like, you know, we are the first time I heard this, and I've stealing it ever since. Rocky, you are exactly like Elon Musk. You have something in common with him. Do you know what it is?
What?
24 hours in a day, and you have to sleep. Okay. So I don't want you monkeying around. Okay.
Well, no, I
tweaking your website, because I know it's not going to change. It's not going to fundamentally change. And I know you don't have a website problem. You have a marketing problem, Rocky. I want you to spend all of your time and energy and effort on that. You know, you get a tiny little bit of leeway early on, a tiny little bit, to make things look the way that you want. Okay. I get.
Well, I mean, I would just spend time on it initially. I wouldn't plan on changing it all the time, because obviously I'd want to focus on marketing and producing the actual art. But but yes, I was just wondering how much of that. So you've pretty much answered all of my questions.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rocky. But you don't ever hear, you know, like Rocky, like saying the true SEO story. Like, no one's out there saying that story, right? Everyone's just out there selling the silver bullets. And it actually infuriates me because, you know, you get it in your head that this is what it's going to be. And instead of doing what you should be doing, you're doing this SEO thing, and it's just never going to lead to sales. It's like, it's hard enough as is to make it as an artist without wasting a bunch of time on digital marketing that is ineffective. God, I'm just mumbling today. Ineffective and inefficient. Okay, Michael, you're up next. Did I unmute Michael? That was really weird. You had his hand up and then he just like disappeared. You don't have an audio source anyway. It looks like Michael Luby. Okay, someone else had a hand up. If he comes back, I will. Yep. Billy, you again? Hold on. I'll come back with, I think, did someone else have a hand up and I missed him? I don't know. Okay, I'll get you next, Billy, and then I'll start working through the chat. Go ahead. Again, Billy, you have to unmute. I'll let you know when you get it. Yeah, bottom left for the mic. Yep, gotcha.
Okay, so, and gosh, I forgot. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, and it just occurred to me that this is a software and you need to upgrade it, right? So every time you upgrade the software, is it going to cost us extra?
No, never. Every time we add a new feature, you know what that costs you? Nothing.
Okay, so put the $1,000 down, and then, you know, whatever, the $40-something a month forever?
Yes.
Until you made changes.
I mean, within reason, right? Like within reason, like, you know, if we design some new crazy change the entire market, I mean, I don't know if we would ever make changes, but, you know, one of the things that's awesome is, I mean, we must be shipping like 5 or 6 new features a month, some big, some small. You know, we're working on bigger ones, we're working on smaller ones. And once you're in, you're in. You don't ever pay for any of that ever again, ever, right? It's like you get them added. That's it, right? So it's very cool. There's not many times where, you know, it's like sort of like real estate. Like, you know, you buy the house and the value keeps going up and you don't have to do anything but just live in it. It's sort of how it works. It's good. It's awesome. A lot of my customers would tell you that, like, you know, they signed up 2 years ago under a completely different premise than the value that we're delivering them now. And they haven't had to do anything. They haven't had to do anything. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. So I know I saw some ones in the chat that I've got to deal with. So I can't see what this name is. Let me see what the name is. Well, it just says T. So T, what are some contemporary marketing techniques and what are some of the keywords that sell? The keywords that sell, it's different for every single solitary niche. It's different for every single solitary media type, for every different artist. It's not even worth getting into. But the contemporary marketing techniques are driving traffic to your website. That's not a technique or tactic, but I'm just going to explain the whole thing. You drive traffic to your website. You gather emails all year. We have a whole bunch of different ways to do that, okay? You post to the socials on a regular basis. You email market on a regular basis. You have sales when the time is right. We teach you how to run a proper sale and what the mechanics look like. What is an incentive? What is the scarcity? What should the discount be? How long should the period be? How do you warm the sale up? What do you do during the sale? What do you do after the sale? Running a sale is one of the most fundamental and important aspects of running any digital commerce business, but especially in our business. So we teach that all year long. Once you get over a certain threshold, we strongly encourage you and teach you how to run Facebook and Instagram ads. You know, we live in an age where we all have to be somewhat contrarian in the sense that attention is the currency of the land. We have to go to those that have the attention. Right now, that is Facebook and Instagram. Do I hope it changes? Do I hope they get busted up, Trust Buster style, Teddy Roosevelt style? Yes, I do. But I'm not going to sit here and complain in the meantime because I need to go to where the attention is, get as much of it as I can. The minute it changes, I'll be over there. But that's what we teach all year long. So I would say those are contemporary, Terry. I can see your name now. Terry, in contrast to, you know, SEO, which has been around forever, right? So that's what I would say. Yeah, the how to drive traffic to the website. Yeah, we have a whole bunch of different ways. Some of which that we don't publish because they're pretty hacky, but advanced Instagram techniques, advanced Facebook techniques, techniques centered around print giveaways. We've got a whole bunch of different ones. Once this world unlocks and opens back up, and you have the retail selling opportunities. So we've got a whole bunch of different ones. That's what I would say. So hopefully that answers your question, Terry. Otherwise, you can leave another one. Kiki, I saw your language question. I think that worked. Yes, Judy, it's a green screen background. I can change it at any time, which is kind of handy. I can get off the beach. When you do enough of these things, you would just get like so bored of looking at the same background. So sometimes I go into the office. Sometimes I'm at the bar. Sometimes I'm in someone's living room. Sometimes I have some art. Oh, wow, look at the little zoom lost on my screen there. Sometimes I'm at the Chelsea game. Wow, and I lost the zoom on my camera so you can actually see the background. I just got a new web camera yesterday, so I'm like still playing around with all this stuff. Okay. Other questions? I'm still going on. How are you different than Shopify? Anyone? So Shopify, you know, is primarily set up to sell absolutely everything imaginable under the sun, and they're awesome at that. They do a great job. Every feature we have, every little bell, little whistle is all just set up just to sell art, right? So that gives us a pretty big differentiation. And, you know, most importantly, because the marketing is the biggest problem, all we do is teach artists how to market all year long and how to get better at it. I mean, what does our in-house agency do? Where did I just go on? The in-house agency that just helps artists and photographers with selling art online. And, you know, when you have such a broad and wide focus that does Shopify, of course, you're not going to be able to be, you know, as service orientated to artists and photographers. So that's how it's different. But which is not a knock on Shopify. We love Shopify. I think they're an amazing company. I mean, it's the biggest company in the entire country of Canada in terms of market capitalization. That's a pretty amazing stat, I think. So that's what I would say. I'm trying to figure out the zoom button in my camera because you can see on the side of this thing. Woo. Anyway, okay. Terry's asking, any research recommendations for finding the right keywords to sell for a period? I don't even know what that is. I've never even seen that word. Is it a typo? I'm gonna have to Google that. Pareidolia fine arts photographer. What is pareidolia? I have no idea. It's a super interesting term. I gotta Google that now. So finding the right keywords, you don't need to find the right keywords because nobody's searching for it. Like a good, okay, so it's not a typo. A good, indication just to ask yourself is, how would they find you if they put your name in a search engine in Google? And if you're struggling to come up with whatever that answer is, you ain't got a keyword problem because nobody's searching for you. You're not gonna market because periodolia. I need to know what this is. No, I'm gonna have to Google it. Hold on. If it's cool, I'll show it. Oh wow. Is the tendency for an incorrect perception of a stimulus as an object, pattern, or meaning known to the observer. Suffice to say, though, Terry, if you can't pronounce it, there's probably not that many people searching it. And another good little hack to do is just put it into a Google search at the very top. And if there's not a lot of results, you don't have a keyword problem. You don't need to do a keyword problem in the slightest. So I wouldn't stress about that. Okay. This question, I see a lot of artists painting branded fashion products ranging from Chanel handbags to Air Jordans to Oakley sunglasses. Yeah, we see a fair amount of it too. As a subject matter, I'm interested in developing fashion-inspired pieces, but I don't know the implications of doing so without copyright infringement. I've read it's okay to be inspired by these. Its intentions are to be sold as another commodity, i.e. a painting of a Chanel bag, not the bag itself. What are your thoughts on this? Yeah, there's like a massive charcoal gray area about copyright in general, right? And we have a whole bunch of people that are on the line of it. And I think for the ones that are like repurposing the original garments and then reselling them, they're creating something new. I'm not positive, and I'm not a lawyer, but I'm pretty sure that you can get away with that, and that's not a problem at all. Now, I always use this example because it's wild, but we have a gentleman that goes into a certain theme park. I'm not going to say the name. Well, he used to go into the theme park. I'm not going to say what the name of the theme park is. And he shoots the various different things. Think mouse ears. I'm not going to say what the name of the theme park is. And he takes photos of the various different rides, and he does incredibly well selling his photos inside this theme park. And you would think, how in the world is he getting away with that? Turns out, going into these theme parks and taking photos of the things and selling stuff is a thing. And there's like a forum that all of these guys are in, and there is a representative from said theme park that might have something to do with mouses that says, yep, it's all good. We know you guys are marketing for us, so as long as it doesn't get too big, we're not going to slap you on the wrist. So yeah, you can loosely talk to a lawyer. Yes, you can loosely Google it. There's one school of thought that says you can just go for what you're going, and then if you get in trouble, you get slapped on the wrist. Every time I say that, somebody emails me really, really angrily saying, how dare you infringe on someone else's copyright? Look, I'm not a lawyer. I'm just saying that there's a lot of charcoal gray maneuverability room there. So that's what I would say. I think you could totally do that. I think it's an interesting angle. Okay, I think that covers it. Anyone else on camera? Otherwise, follow-ups? Judy, Donna, Lisa, you doing some babysitting there? That's normally me. That's normally me too. Yeah, one thing I'll say too is, if for some reason you put in a demo and you're like, why the heck are they not calling me back? See my aforementioned point about the fact that, everyone is, no water, no power, no everything, struggling right now. So it might be a little while. We have a Valentine's Day sale that I don't even know when it was supposed to end, but whatever it is, we'll probably have to extend it a couple of days because this whole thing. Okay, good. It's already extended. So just if you do put in a demo, the demo is a great next step because I don't know all the intricacies of the plans and the pricing and everything else. You put in a demo, you fill out the form. Someone from our outreach team calls you. It's like a 10 to 15 minute conversation. They'll find out about you, who you are, what your niche looks like, what you do, all of those things. And then if you like what you hear, you can ask all the pricing questions and details. They've got all that sorted out. And then if you like what you hear, you can schedule the full demo, which it takes like an hour on a Zoom call to literally go through all the bells and whistles. We have so many bells and whistles. It's sort of crazy. So you get to see all of those on a call in depth. And if you don't want to get on a call after that, we are not the pushy types that are going to harangue you and harass you in perpetuity every other month. They don't call back. So I promise that won't happen because no one likes calls from sales teams, even if you do call them outreach teams, right? Nobody likes phone calls, period. So don't worry about that. We don't do that. Okay. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I think that's it. Eamon's asking, how are sales tax handled, for example, a sale in Europe? That's a very good question. I don't know. Oh, I see your hands up, Judy. Okay, I'll get you in a sec. I don't know what the answer is to that, Eamon. I do know, like, you know, one of the interesting things that we do is, you know, the Art Business University thing is actually not hyperbole. We have one gal who is an accountant, and she likes to, her side business is attempting to do accounting for artists and photographers. And so she comes on, you know, we're kind of playing with the frequency, but she comes on like once a month, once every 2 months, and just runs a session on accounting for artists and photographers. You can ask her any question you want. But for the European sales, you know, the thing that everyone always seems to get stressed out about is like, what do I do if I sell to Europe, or what do I do if I get taxed for this particular place or there? It's like, get the sale first and then worry about everything else. The hardest thing to do, get the sale. The easiest thing to do, figure out the shipping, figure out the accounting, figure out the this, figure out the that, right? Like, figure out how to get the sale. Everything else is pretty easy to sort. Go ahead, Judy. And I'll let you know when you get your mic unmuted. Okay, you're good.
Yeah, hi. I'm just trying to pull it together. Okay, I got the $1,000 is just to be part of the support group of the marketing. Okay,
it's the Art Business University, yeah. But see, it's still, I don't have it fully articulated yet, Judy. I got to figure this out.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the $49 plus whatever is to be on a website that is available for all this extra, you know, for the shipping.
It's your website though, right? Like, it's judybatesart.com. It's not like a it's not like a marketplace or something.
But that's available to me for that $49 a month.
Correct.
You know, or the canvas, you know, the digital. I mean,
yes, all of that,
and so on and so forth. I want to put my artwork on pocketbooks or whatever.
Yes.
Okay. Then in Plus, what I have to do is I have to build my own website. I can have you guys build a website, or I can have a website built. I mean, I can have one made.
Yes, you can do it yourself. Yes.
Cost from you or an outside source. Is that correct?
Yeah. Well, we have like an in-house marketing agency, and you know, one of the services the agency does is it'll build the entire site for you, but you don't need it. Like, you could totally build it yourself. Like, you know, our tech support is amazing. Our documentation is amazing. Most people.
Is there another cost in addition for them to do that for us?
Yes.
Okay.
But you don't need it. You can absolutely build it yourself. I mean, the whole like larger picture is, you know, my job as the one that runs the marketing department is to say, okay, here's what I want you to do. Here's how you do it. I want you to run a live art show on Instagram. Here's the playbook, the step-by-step do-it-yourself documentation that explains everything from start to finish on how to do that on your own. You can follow it. The advice is really good. If you say, I just don't want to do it, I want to pay for it, my next job is, okay, I've got the DIY covered. The next thing I need to do is I need to essentially be a store where you can walk in, grab something off the shelf, and pay for it when you need it, right? So if you just don't want to go and do that one thing, you don't want to build the website, you go and pay for that, guess what? Your website's up quicker, and you're working on your marketing quicker. So it's a win across the board in that capacity. So that's what
I have been selling things off Facebook. Now it's my friends, or my friends share my pieces.
Yep.
I'm also a muralist. I've been doing murals for about 25 years, traveling.
Yeah, amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm also a paint. Well, it gave me the biggest canvas I could use. I mean, I always work big, and so I started doing murals, and it worked.
I love it.
So, you know, not just having to sell my original work. I mean, I like the idea because I like my work to make money for myself.
Yes.
You know, which is the prints, you know, on metal or
all of it. Anything that you can sell, right? Yeah.
Consider my originals, and that generates money for me. But I'm just trying to figure out that for $49 a month, approximately, give and take, that gives me that resource with you. And I have my own website under my own name.
Yes.
And then you could help me with, you know, certain keywords that will pick up.
No, not the keywords part, because we're not wasting any time on SEO. But what we do is, you know, we essentially have, one, we give you a calendar that goes 365 days a year, not one you hang on the wall. Your marketing calendar, which tells you what to do all year long to grow the business. Two, we have Zoom sessions just like these with our customers 52 weeks a year. Maybe 50 weeks a year. Probably take out 2 for Christmas or whatever. And you come in, we teach whatever we're advocating you do on the calendar, and then it's open Q&A. So, you know, if you're struggling with this, or you've got a question about that, or you're trying to figure out that, boom, you can ask those questions.
artists are the worst marketers. We're terrible.
Yes, no question. 100%. Fact.
I've been in business for 25 years. I am the pearl on the black dress. I can't sell myself. My work sells itself, but it goes through other people selling for me just by word of mouth.
Yes.
So, this is also encouraging. It's like going to a museum. You get encouraged to go home and paint.
For sure. I love that.
But
yeah.
I'm just curious that the $1,000 is basically for the education and support
for
and
life,
and
yes.
so on and so forth. And the $49 a month is to keep you abreast with the extra.
That's just what you pay for the website software, yeah.
And the administration, basically.
Yeah, if you like, yeah. But yeah, that's just a subscription fee for the software. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So whatever it costs me to do a web page, I can do it myself. I don't want to do it myself.
No. Well, also too, I mean, our software is what makes it possible to sell the merge, to integrate with the prints, to show your art better than any others.
So going with you to create that web page would be beneficial to be parallel with all those extra.
All of it, yes. The Cadillac of art selling websites, yes.
Oh yeah, or to be administrator. I don't have to do any mailing. They just have to click. Size it, change it. So
exactly.
Okay. So whatever the cost that you have to make that website, do you have any idea approximately how much more that would be?
I don't know what they charge for it. I'll find out. That's a good question. I should know. I think it's to build the entire thing for you, where you put all your images in a folder and just drop it. I think it's somewhere under $1,000, somewhere like that. But they're always doing sales on that too, right? So I would.
The average website, I mean, I saw it cost me $800 to build it, whatever. So it would be an additional $1,000. Okay, I just want to see that.
Yep.
Okay.
And you can.
I'm tired of. I'll tell you something. I do a lot of work on Facebook, and I am so tired of people. I hate when people say nice. I'm like, nice. What are you talking about?
Yeah. I usually respond to those. It will look nice on your wall. I take Venmo, PayPal, send me a message right now. Let's get this done. Right.
Exactly. Yeah. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Judy. Okay, Nina, then I see you too, Rocky. All right, Nina, what level of confusion are we at now? I think when we started, we were at 90% confusion. Are we down to 60% confusion?
Okay. No, I just want to understand something.
Yes.
So we pay $1,000 one-time fee, and then we pay something like $49 or whatever a month. And to build a website, to have your company build out, I have already a website with my name, because I'm not only a painter, I'm also a writer. So I have, but no, it doesn't get any traffic because I didn't do whatever right,
Yes.
But anyway, so if your company builds us a website, do we pay additional for you building us a website? It seems that there's an additional $1,000.
If you want someone to build the entire thing for you, yes, but you don't.
So basically, it's not $1,000 that we pay. We pay $2,000.
No, you can build the website yourself.
I can't. I'm not technical, and I don't like any of that. I don't want to do any technology.
You don't ever want to touch another website again. I get it.
I can't build anything. I mean, I can't build anything technical. I can barely do the simplest things that I'm being taught.
Yes.
And I have no interest in that. I get very bored doing that.
Understood.
So anyway.
That's why, by the way, that's why we created the service.
Okay, but so... no, I think it has to be set up front that it's not $1,000, but it's $2,000, including the website, right?
If you want someone to build the entire thing for you, yes.
Right. Yeah. And then it's something like $49 a month just to be part of this service, or in addition, there is something to keep the website going.
I'm wondering if it would just be easier just to explain it all as one fee, right? And I don't get me wrong. I love your questions, Nina. I love it because it's forcing me to figure out what's the easiest way to articulate it. If you used any website provider out there, right, and name any of them, they all charge a monthly fee, right? All of them do. So Shopify, Squarespace.
My website doesn't charge a monthly fee.
Okay, so whatever yours one is, aside, all the rest of them do. All the ones that have bells and whistles do. We do that same thing, right? We charge monthly fees for the software. Everyone does that. That's
okay. So the monthly fee is not for, I'm just trying to understand
I get it. I get it.
The monthly fee is not only 49, which is to be part of this company or whatever, but also it's something else, maybe another $50. I don't know how much.
No. So let's do it this way. You get essentially two things when you sign up for Art Storefronts. Okay, one, you get the website. Two, you get marketing education for life. $1,000 pays for the marketing education for life. The website is just a monthly fee. Those are the two things. Separate.
So the $49 that we pay monthly, it's for the website.
Correct.
Okay. And when you say marketing education, I mean, it includes technical education, right? Like how to do this, that,
yes.
right?
Yeah, all of it.
And the thing is, some of us really don't want to, like, whenever I have to do anything technical, I usually ask someone else to do it for me.
Yes.
So some of us don't want to do this technical thing because it, if it's a little more technical than whatever, then I'd rather have someone else do it. So a lot of this marketing education will be about how to post. I mean, is it simple things like how to post something on Instagram?
Yeah, it's all of it, Nina. I mean, my worry is like, in order for you to have a successful and thriving business where you're getting attention for your art right now in today's day and age, your books too, you have to understand how to market digitally, right? And so if you're in a position where you're like, absolutely not, do I want to learn any of it? I don't want to learn how to send emails. I can barely post to Facebook or Instagram. I don't want to learn how to properly execute a sale. If you're in that position, I'm worried for you. You need to get somebody that can do that for you, right? But I don't know any other way to get it done in today's like.
Okay, I do know very well how to post on Facebook and Instagram. That I know. Yes. I have no problem with that. But more sophisticated things, I don't know, and I don't have much of a wish to learn.
Yeah. I'm with you. I get it. Yeah. I mean, I think in a perfect world, you would have nothing but local opportunities to sell your work, and there would be enough attention and eyeballs there to do it, right? And you could meet people face to face, and you could sell in person, and that would be awesome for you, and you could have conversations which you're great at, right? But the world that we live in, if you want to reach those worldwide buyers, you have to do marketing, and there's no shortcut to that. So if I'm in your shoes, I would probably tackle it from both sides, and I would say, I hate learning this tech stuff, but it's sort of like eating my vegetables. I know I need to eat my vegetables to be healthy, so I'm going to try and eat my vegetables. I'm going to hold my nose when I do it, and it's going to be hard at first, but after a couple of years, I'm going to get much better at it. I'm also going to contemplate who I could bring into the business potentially as a partner to do all of that stuff for me, because that's what they're really, really good at, right? I would love to sugarcoat things for you, Nina, and say that there's some easy way where you don't have to do the technical stuff and you can get away with it, but you have to email market it. Yes, okay. You have to.
I have another question connected to this. Okay, so suppose we have problem learning some particular technical things. So will there be individual help? Like suppose
yes. You have Zoom sessions like this 6 days a week. You have Zoom sessions like this 6 days a week where you can jump in and talk to a real human being.
And they can help us do this.
I feel like we're getting there. I feel like you started 90% confused. You went down to like 70%, then we went back up to 75. I feel like we're in the 60s.
I just didn't. It's not that I was confused. Confused is the wrong word actually in this context. I just didn't know. Okay, I heard about your company just about 2 days ago when I saw something on Facebook.
Yeah.
So then I started getting emails a little too often, I should say.
Oh, definitely too often. Definitely too often.
I don't think emails should be sent so often.
No.
But fine. So and then I just didn't know. So it's not that I was confused, because confused means like I'm a little deficient mentally.
No,
so
I don't think you're deficient.
I just didn't have any knowledge. So now I have some knowledge.
Okay. So percentage knowledgeable, we'll say. Percentage knowledgeable. And I promise I'm just having fun with you. It's a lot to take in, and it's a lot to understand. That's number one. Number two, we definitely email too much. I mean, it's obnoxious how much we email. We probably email more than just about any outfit out there. I mean, it's crazy, but there's reasons for that we can get into later. But look, I think you can do it. I think you're going to be an artist for the next 30 years of your life. I think you're going to want to continue to grow that business. You're going to want to continue to grow your literary business, and underpinning that is marketing, right? So,
I really don't like the combination of the words literary business. It's very, I'm not part, I do not consider myself, even though I've lived in this country since 1973, I really think this is a very American combination of words, very American mentality, which I resist. I don't think of literature as business. And it's very unfortunate that art became business. So I do not consider myself a businessman, a businesswoman, even if my paintings will sell. I'm really against art as business, and especially literature as business. So I don't like to equate to say things like literary business. It's really I find it very
whatever you want to call it, Nina, whatever you want to call it. But the reality is that all I care about is that you're able to live off your creativity and give yourself the life that you want to. I don't care about the nomenclature. I don't care what you call it. I don't care what you get bogged down in. And on some level, that is what you want. Otherwise, you wouldn't be on the call, right? Like, you want to leverage your creativity to make more money and support yourself. So I don't want to play the nomenclature game with you, or get bogged down in that. But that's what we do. Like, at the end of the day, the most important thing for us, and I said this at the beginning, is we do everything that we can to create successful customers, because the more that we do that, the bigger their businesses grow. However they want to call it or do it, or how they want to sell it, or how they want to do sales, whatever else. It's just about figuring out ways to monetize your creativity. That's it. Did you mute? I can't tell.
Yeah, I heard you.
Yeah.
I heard you.
Leave it there. Keep going. You're thinking. Okay. If you want to keep going, let me know. Rocky, you're up. Go ahead.
Okay. So from a marketing standpoint, what do you find works well? Website, marketing the artist's name, or something with the type of art that's contained?
Yeah. So I would say early on, the only thing that matters, and let's use like the exercise analogy, right? Like, I want to get fit is what you're asking me. And then the next question you're asking me, so what works best? Running stairs, standing up on a paddleboard and going through the harbor, riding the bicycle, going skiing?
I got you.
Do you know what works best, Rocky? Whatever's going to get you exercising, right? You don't know.
It. No, I understand.
Yeah, you don't know early on what the answer to that question is, right? Because it's always going to work a little bit differently. And so what everyone tends to do is like try to get super analytical and bogged down in this thing or that thing. Yes. No, you don't worry about any of it. And like I would even say early on, like, don't even look at your stats for the first 6 months. Just start working on the marketing muscles, develop them, getting them going, get some momentum in the business, and then we'll look at things and we'll say, wait a minute, last month you had such and such people come from Instagram, you had such and such people come from Facebook, you had such and such people come from your email list, and you had some people that found you on Google organically. The ones that came from Instagram were on your site for 6 seconds. The ones that came from Facebook were on your site for 2.5 minutes, and you had 5 people add to the cart and 2 sales. And the ones from you can't even answer those questions until you get fit, right? Until you develop the market. Yeah. So that's what I'd say.
Okay. And as far as the email, you provide our email. Do you know like what file size limits we get with that email? So on and so forth.
Yes.
Is it kind of like
yes.
standardized?
Yeah, all of that stuff we have sorted and then some.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thanks, Rocky. Okay, Eamon, you're asking. I don't know if you would be able to integrate with your existing Bay Photo account. I think our integration just gives you another Bay Photo account. You'd probably keep both of them active, and if for some reason there's some products that Bay Photo has that are available only to you and not to us at that integration level, then that's probably what I would do. Yeah. So I've got, okay, I'm looking through the socials. It's so interesting, right? Like, he or she who's closest to the customer always wins, right? And doing these webinars and having more calls and having that awesome conversation with Nina, you realize like it sounds so easy to articulate what you actually do, but it is not so easy to do, right? You need reps and sets, and you need the feedback, and you need to realize like it's so clear in your head They have no idea what you're doing. So iterative process there. Certainly an iterative process, and I loved all that feedback. But okay, I think that's what we got. Any other questions? I can only harass you guys that have the cameras on. Darush, Christine, any others before we go? Okay, so see, you guys got brave. I'll get you next, Christine. Actually, yeah, go ahead. Just because I unmuted Darush first, then I'll get you, Christine. Go ahead.
So Patrick, thank you so much for your patience and what you do on an almost daily basis here.
Yes,
I've been following you guys for a while now, and want to join, but can't really just make up my mind, because I don't have. I'm not sure about the how my artwork is going to.
Yeah. So let's get back to let's get to how have you sold up till now, or have you sold your art at all? If so, how have you done it? And was it to people not named family, friends, brothers, sisters, to strangers?
Right. Yes. No, I have sold. Although not as much as I'd like to, but yes, I've sold. But most of my artwork goes back to what I've done professionally as an illustrator for architects, or their architectural illustrations in watercolor.
Okay.
So I have a whole bunch of items on my portfolio on my website that refers to that. And then I've done also some other artwork that I'm trying to transition into.
Okay.
Because the architectural stuff is being done with computers mostly now.
Mm-hmm.
And although I get occasional calls to do some work, but it's not as busy as before. So I'm kind of transitioning to artwork. So I'm a little confused as to how to even my artwork has some like portraits in there. I love doing portraits, and then there's a lot of architectural stuff that are kind of like from Washington D.C. where I am.
Mm-hmm.
And then some other items that I thought people might like. So it's a hodgepodge of things.
Yeah, that's okay. And that's okay. So early on is like what everyone does is they're doing what you're doing right now. They're uncertain and they're worried and they're like, I don't know which one to do. I don't know which one's going to sell. And that's exactly right. You don't know, right? The only way you're going to know is if you take the products to market, you spend a ton of marketing and you get some feedback on what actually works, right? And you might find a situation where a little bit of everything sells, or you might find a situation where everyone is gravitating to one particular type, right? Well, at that point in time, and with that data in hand, you can make a decision if you want to go all in on that one thing, or if you want to continue to have the broad range. But the problem is that, contemplating it without getting it out there and without doing any marketing, you're never going to know the answer to the question, right? And don't misassume that as like some sort of cynical, you need to sign up with us today, but you need to start marketing today, and you need to get the art in front of people. Otherwise, Bruce, you're never going to know. You're never going to know.
Yeah, and you mentioned that before too, and
Always.
That's encouraging. But is there someone I can talk to? They can maybe go over my website and give me their opinion.
No. There is absolutely no one you can talk to and give you your opinion. There is one thing that can give you the opinion, and someone pulling this out and going, here, I just gave you my opinion. That is the only opinion that matters, right? That is the only opinion that matters. Stop it. Stop it with what you're doing. I know where you're going. You're like, everyone tells me my work is great, right? Like, no, I'm not letting you go down that. I'm not letting you do that. The only thing that matters.
I mean, in terms of, what to put on the website, because I don't want it to be so confusing.
Yeah, it's not gonna be confusing. So early on, you get launched and you put up a grid of what you think your best sellers would be, or if you haven't sold any, what you think your favorite pieces are, and you start in on the marketing and you figure it out as you go, right? You figure it out as you go. I mean, I would say that one of the primary things that we advocated for pre-pandemic times is like, stop talking about it, okay? Go and get a booth. I don't care where, this fair, that fair, local fair, architecture fair. Sit in the booth for 8 hours with all of those pieces behind you and have a bunch of conversations and see what you can sell, right? No better way to learn than that, but not so easy to do in this world that we're living in right now, right? So we sort of have some hacky ways of doing it with like live art shows on Facebook or Instagram. But then again, if you've got no following on Facebook or Instagram, who's going to see it, right? So it makes it difficult, but no one can tell you. No one can tell you. Straight up. And when I say no one can tell you, no one can tell you. Only the market can tell you. And everything else will just be, they're telling you whatever they, because they like you. That's what makes capitalism so amazing, right? Like that transaction actually establishes the value. All the rest of it is just conjecture from people that don't know what they're talking about, or they don't want to hurt your feelings, or they, this, that, and the other. Is Darush Persian, by the way? Dariush?
Dariush, yeah. Dariush, yes. Where you are, there's probably quite a few.
Oh my gosh, I have like 18 reses in my phone. I've grown up my whole life with Persians. I could even do the Persian accents. I've been taught the Persian swear words as a kid. I've got Turani Persian buddies, Mashadi Persian buddies. Like, yeah. And I love the rice that gets burned at the bottom of the pot, but that's a story for another day. So, okay, I'm going to go to Christine. You know what you have to do, right? You're smiling, you're laughing, you're like, yeah, but is there a way I can get around it? No, there's not a way you can get around it.
No. I just need to make a commitment and do it. I want the highest level with has all the bells and whistles, but
yep.
Just at some point I have to do it. Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks for your time.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Okay, Christine, go ahead. Yep, gotcha.
Okay, my question is for my artwork, which is mostly oil paintings or acrylic, should I take them to a local professional photographer to be able to digitalize them to send them to you?
Yes, so wonderful question. And I'm going to answer this a couple of different ways. One, April's going to put in the chat this link. So we have the guy that spent his entire career just photographing art for reproduction. And so he wrote like a really in-depth article, everything from how you approach it with just an iPhone to professional drum scanning to everything in between. So it's worth it just to have a read on that to kind of like educate yourself on what your options are. What I would do is I would use my iPhone. I would take photos of all of it. I would get the art up onto the website, and then I would start working on my marketing and attempt to sell it. Then when an order came in, I'd be like, Christina, thank you so much for the order. I just realized I have not got that one photographed yet. Would you mind waiting a couple of weeks for me to go get it photographed? And it'll be a much higher quality print. And that's what I would go and do, because then you're not wasting any time in between. You're actually moving into selling, right? And if it's the original, you can still sell the original. So that's what I would do rather than going and getting thousands scanned. And I would probably just get thousands scanned or photographed, however many you have, as time goes on.
Well, I have a local photographer that I've taken several pieces to, and just take one image.
Yeah,
because of the lighting and stuff. You can do that. So
you could do that too. I mean, there's two things too, right, Christine? There's having an image of the work on the website such that you can sell it, very easy. And then the quality of the image that you send us, it instantaneously, our software analyzes it and says, all right, Christine, based on this photograph, you can print this thing up to 38 by 46, right?
Correct.
And so then you make your decisions on what sizes that you want to do. So obviously the higher quality photos, the bigger you'll be able to go on the prints.
Okay.
Yeah. Great question. And we'll make sure the article's in the chat now. I see it. And then we email everything after the fact. So we'll send you guys everything. But thanks for hanging around all the way to the end, guys. I appreciate you. That was a super fun session today. I hope everyone stays warm, stays safe. And hope to see you around soon on a future webinar. And I'll get my camera fixed so my screen's not only half working.